All right, Stokastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you on a Sunday morning. Skipped out yesterday. Bellman was out yesterday. Greg had to carry the load for us, but that's okay. Greg's the boss man. And you know what? If he has flaky employees like us, then he probably should, have to pick up the slack. That's just the way it goes here. Stephen Leibowitz, I see you're here. Sunday Funday. Yes, indeed. Humboldt, hi. How are you? Cujo, what's going on? Good morning, I guess good afternoon for everybody here. Let's have a little fun. Mr. Bellman, it's been a hot minute since we chatted. Hopefully you had some fun family stuff last night.
Well, it was my wife and my dad's birthday yesterday. So
the old 2-for-1 special. There you go.
The 2-for-1 special. I'm on a bunch of shows next week, so we wanted to celebrate yesterday. So I appreciate Greg filling in. To be back on the internet, but working right now. 13 games. This is the biggest Sunday slate me and you have ever done. I mean, this is the biggest Sunday slate I can remember. No West Coast games, like one West Coast game.
Yeah, it is definitely out there with regards to being front loaded. I mean, 13 games is almost unheard of. I mean, Yahoo plays every game on Sundays, so the secret site has that. But 13 on FanDuel, 13 on DraftKings, 1 4 o'clock game. We've seen as few as 2, never 1 though on this season for Sundays. And then, of course, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. So we have ample pitching options, plenty of places to stack. We have good weather, good hitting weather. There is some rain risk. However, it looks like wherever there is rain today, it's going to be early enough in the game that they can just do a later start and get away with it. So everything should have some nice game windows here. So we will talk through this. We'll kind of go through pitching and see when we run out of things to mention, and then we'll go into hitting. But that will be the status today. I know we got to play it a little various ways on the weekend here because we continually get changing sizes of slates here. But are you ready, Matt?
I am ready. It's a monster slate, obviously. So let's dive in. As you mentioned, top heavy pitching and loaded offense is all over, because after like the first few pitchers, there's a lot of guys you want to pick on. Absolutely.
Alrighty. So I'm playing Yahoo. I'll build out about 20 lineups there in addition to my main lineup, which I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with pitching. So this will help us here. FanDuel, I'm going to build out 150. Matt will have his over there on DraftKings, but many moving parts today. So let's start off here at the top of pitching. Now we can kind of take a leisurely walk through here because they're across the different sites between the various pricing and what else is available. It's kind of different answers on each of the sites. But Zach Wheeler is your overarching best pitcher of the slate. He is also one of the most expensive. He's almost unplayable at $60 on Yahoo, but he is tied with Paul Skeens, who's also on the slate today, for the best odds to win the National League Cy Young Award. They're kind of nip and tuck depending on your side of choice, but Hard Rock had them tied today. Aaron Judge just landed on the injured list. And then new Yankee Ryan McMahon, I didn't look at the lineup, but he should be in the lineup. Yes, he is batting 7th. Now, Ryan McMahon, while he is an upgrade on Oswaldo Perez, Perez is mostly a good glove guy. So is McMahon. But McMahon, compared to Perez, is light years ahead. But McMahon's not having a great year this year. I think he's the second most strikeouts in the league. He is, not nearly as good as he was the last 2 seasons, even accounting for Coors Field. So I think we can safely say Wheeler is your priority play. Do you want to die on that hill? Are you willing to allocate those kinds of salary caps hits to him?
Yeah, I mean, Wheeler looks really good because he always looks really good. I mean, he's right behind Skubal as the top 2, 3, 4, 5 pitcher in baseball easily. So it's not the cleanest spot in the world going into New York and into this stadium with good hitting weather, but you take Aaron Judge out, obviously a big boost for him, and he's good enough where, he's not that he's matchup proof, like his floor is lower here, but if he's on today, I mean, he's going to pitch. If he's on and ever, he's going to pitch well. So, yeah, I like Wheeler a lot here. You're paying full price for him, but I think he's worth it on a slate where you can find cheap bats. I like Wheeler a lot here.
All right. So tying this back to Yahoo, I ended up going with, in my main lineup, I'm going with Logan Gilbert. Now, he's not on any other slates today, basically because of where he is, but I needed that $6 discount. So key things, now Gilbert may not have the same pitch count because the Mariners are kind of taking it easy with him after he missed some time with that forearm tightness. He is probably going to go around 95 pitches would be my guess as kind of his baseline. When you're looking at Wheeler, you're going to probably get 100 from him today. He has got that, I think, in 6 of his last 8 games, something along those lines. Maybe it's 7 of 8. He has just continued to be an excellent source of strikeouts. He is your Bucks deluxe play. His strikeouts were great last year. They're even better this year. So it's easy to like him at the top. As we start to branch down, you mentioned Paul Skeens. Now, my biggest concern on Skeens is there's not as much of a discount from Wheeler, and you get a little bit of what I think is a pitch count concern. So I've got my notes here. So Wheeler has 100 and plus pitches in 8 of his last 10. His 2 lowest were 98 and 94. Skeens has gone over 80 pitches only twice in his last 5 appearances. It feels, Matt, like he kind of has an 80 to 85 pitch ceiling. They want to get him through 5 innings, but this is another lost year for Pittsburgh. However, individual accolades can help a fan base as well as a team rally. So him being in the mix for the Cy Young Award, I expect we're going to see him clear 5 innings, but I don't know how much more. And to me, that makes it a little tougher to get excited about him. He is going against the Diamondbacks, who have traded away a couple players already here at the deadline, and probably will be sending a few more out over the next 100 hours. How do you feel about Skeens with that backdrop?
Yeah, I mean, I like Wheeler more, but I don't think it's that far of a gap just because the spot is cleaner for Skeens here in Pittsburgh against an Arizona team that's selling. They're still very good against right-handed pitching, but not as good right now as they were at the beginning of the season. Obviously, no Josh Naylor. I like Skeens. I'm with you on the pitch count concerns. I think on this slate, he's got to be in play.
Sure.
He's probably SP like 3 or 4 for me.
Okay. Who would be ahead of him aside from Wheeler? I'll hand the baton to you while your internet is still viable.
Yeah, good call. I like Rodon a lot here. He's not someone I play all the time, but he's been fantastic this season. Same spot basically as Wheeler. I think Wheeler's spot is a little bit safer just because the Yankees line up with no Judge, but you get Rodon at a little bit of a cheaper price tag. He's coming off a rough start against Toronto, but Toronto's been doing that to everyone and they don't strike out. So wasn't expecting him to pitch really well here. I think he's got higher upside in this spot. You get past the top 4 and 2 of Philly's, the 2 best hitters in Philly's lineups are left-handed. So you get that for him. I just think what we're given today, he's my SP2. I don't think he's a must play. I don't love him, but he's my SP2.
Okay. Definite merit for that. He, for all of the things he said, little rougher form over the last month, but still excellent source of strikeouts. And that's what it kind of comes down to in the DFS world. Strikeouts are the currency of the realm. So it makes sense that we would like to find pitchers that can do that. Brandon Woodruff. Now, we can see here on DraftKings, he is essentially the same salary. We got 4 guys at the top that are at 5 figures. The big concern about Woodruff is pitch count. Yes, he has been absolutely phenomenal. And if you look only at his game logs, it looks great until you put context in there and see his pitch count. And that is something that I'm very, very nervous about. So he missed 22 months with injuries. Came back, ramped up in the minors a little bit, and this will be his 4th start since returning to the show. Across his 16 and a third innings, he's allowed only 3 runs. 3 solo home runs is what it turned out to be. No walks, 9 total hits. So only 6 hits aside from those home runs there. And he has 23 strikeouts. That's amazing. However, he's thrown 62 pitches in his last start, cleared 6 innings in that. He had 81 throws against Washington 2 weeks ago. And then when he returned to action in Miami, 70 pitches. So he gets Miami today. They're a pesky lineup, but I don't want to pay a 5-figure salary if I'm only going to get what I think is going to be 75 to 80 pitches. Maybe 83 is where he maxes out. I don't. He's going to have to be so efficient yet again for a 4th start, Matt, and that's a tough needle to thread.
Totally with you there. Just the only counter I'd say is at some point I think he's going to go longer than he has been going. We just don't know when that's going to be. So I don't think it's crazy to take a shot on him at lower ownership on a slate with like risky pitching options outside of the top. Even the top guys aren't in, like, as I've said before, clean spots. So
my answer at 8,800 is different than
totally
10,000, whatever he's at. Maybe even 9,000.
That's fair.
100. So
that's also fair. But my counter to that would be, like, on this slate, if he gives you 20 fantasy points, like, which isn't a great score at his current tag, I think you're fine with it.
I think these are all key. Now we get into the real question marks. Max Scherzer, I'm not really interested in him against one of his former teams today. That's okay. He's a Bulldog. A hat tip to him for all the stuff he did in his career, the no-hitters, the Cy Young Awards, the World Series. Phenomenal guy, just not for me today. Noah Cameron, kind of a ground baller. I'm okay going to him. The next 2 guys, though, I want to spend a little time on, Matt, is Yuri Perez, who we've talked about many times on this show, and Ben Brown. Do you have any strong feelings for either? Because I have a few comments on both.
Not really. I think that I love Yuri Perez in general. He's an elite arm. He's been on a good stretch right now. His tag is still too low. So out of those 2, I prefer Yuri, but I don't like this spot against Milwaukee. I don't hate it, though. Like, it's easy Yuri for me over Ben Brown. Ben Brown himself, I think you're playing him just for the strikeouts.
And the matchup. It's pretty much the matchup. Colorado and the White Sox. That's about the only 2 I'd want him against in his current form.
That's fair, but I feel like the difference between Colorado and the White Sox is pretty big right now. White Sox aren't awful against right-handed pitching since they've made some of their call-ups, and I don't know. I think I like Yuri a lot more personally. I don't love any of these guys. I think Scherzer, I think it kind of speaks to the rest of the pitchers after Woodruff that the top pitcher tool has Scherzer and Noah Cameron 5th and 6th. Like, those guys are just guys to me. Yuri Perez is the best pitcher of those 4, including Ben Brown, but tough spot, obviously. I think the 2 guys I'm interested most after the top are Flaherty and Gallen for different reasons. And I don't love either by any means. Flaherty hasn't been great, but he's shown upside in starts, and he's cheap for him at 8,500. Gallen, very boom bust this year. 2 bad starts in a row, was really, really good in 2 of the 3 before that with 30+. Obviously, we like the matchup against Pittsburgh. So I think of, like, that group of pitchers, I like Gallen the most.
All right, just a sec. Looks like today's analysis. So I had someone tweet at me saying this is yesterday's article. And I click on it and I see Zach Wheeler, a picture of Jaron Duran. I don't know what you're looking at, my friend. So take another peek there. Take another peek. So Yuri Perez missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. He has been working on increasing his stamina. The key things for Milwaukee is they're missing three of their better hitters, Jake Bauers, Garrett Mitchell, and, of course, Rhys Hoskins. Now, despite that, those guys being out, and Hoskins now and Mitchell for a while, they are still battling the Cubs for the NL Central division, and they've scored the 8th most runs. And if we look at the last 30 days, the Brew Crew has also scored the 8th most runs. So this is, not for the faint of heart here. But when we start to look at who's in the lineup, it's really only the only power is Yelich, phenomenal season. Jackson Chourio, definitely above average, not quite elite, but definitely above average. And then we're talking about Andrew Vaughn and Sal Frelick, who are like kind of borderline, not replacement level, but not much better against righties. So that's my appreciation there for Perez. I think he's in the 85 to 90 pitch range, 5 innings. So same thing I was saying about Woodruff. Skeens will get a few more pitches. Probably he'll get some more strikeouts. You're going to pay for it, but his inning limit is probably around the same. Which is all of a sudden I'm looking at Yuri Perez, which is fun, Matt. It's fun. Too much time on pitching. Move on to the stacks. We have 13 games today. That's double what we normally have. So we'll get there. We also have 45 minutes until first pitch. And that means it's time, Matt. It's time to sell something. Oh, let's pick Portfolio EV. If you guys have not yet signed up for Portfolio EV, go to the link in the YouTube description below us here. Click on that, and you will get a 7-day free trial for Portfolio EV. This is the top-down sports wagering model that uses various algorithms and fancy data science behind it to pit all of the books against each other, identifying the key wagers as they pop up. It lets you let that do all the heavy lifting while you just select the bets you'd like to make. We also have the bet uploader tool that works for the vast majority of the sports books. So easy, I didn't even need to watch the tutorial to use it when I first started doing that on Hard Rock. So definitely check that out. That is Portfolio EV. Stop guessing, start winning, and stop whining. All right, Ben Brown, is he going to grace your lineups?
No.
Okay.
We can move on from him.
I got to bring him up though.
We did already. We got too much to talk about.
Okay. Who's your last pitcher? Any other pitchers you want to be positive for? And why is it Joey Cantillo?
Yeah, I think that after Gallen, it's Cantillo and JT Ginn as 2 guys you can take shots at. Also intrigued by Jack Leiter and Colton Gordon. Gordon, strictly because of the matchup. This A's lineup is pretty trashy today, but I'm looking to spend up at pitcher when I can and pair Wheeler and Rodon, even if that means I can't get to the expensive of the expensive bats.
All right, I'm impressed that you are finding the money to allocate towards that. I went back and forth on Cantillo. He spent the first part of the season as a reliever, has worked his way into the rotation. He has pretty good strikeout rates. Still been steady. We'll call it steady as he's increasing his pitch count. But he is kind of interesting going against a Kansas City lineup that for the first time in a few years has one of the higher strikeout rates collectively as a team. So that is sort of my selling point for me on Cantillo. And then I'm putting him ahead of Ben Brown on Yahoo. Ben Brown, the argument is going against a weaker White Sox team. Now, the White Sox put up 61 runs in their last 7 games heading into last night. They only scored 1 run last night. I think it was a solo shot in the top of the 9th or something like that. That represents like almost 14% of their season-long run production has come in those 7 games. So yes, they've been on fire. It's baseball being baseball, but I don't know what to do. I don't feel great clicking on Brown. He has decent strikeout stuff, worked his way up through the minors, but he has just been getting his ass handed to him every time he gets up to the show. Like, it's not pretty. Like 5 outings of at least 6 earned runs. That gets to be pretty scary, even though he has a good curveball and a good fastball. So that was all I wanted to say on him. Anything else on the pitching here, or shall we make dreams come true and head over to the stacking side of things?
Yeah, I think let's head over and get talking to some bats.
All right. top stacks tool it is. Make sure this is still screen sharing. It is. Okay, so the Dodgers get to go against Walker Buehler. I like that spot. Baltimore against Austin Gomber. I'm not as fond of it. Good hitting weather. Gomber, not a great pitcher, but I just don't like the production this year for most of the batters of Birdland against Southpaws. Now, they were my featured stack yesterday against Sanzatella. They ripped off 18 runs, which was kind of fun, but I'm not as excited about them today. For me, it's Minnesota. That's the team I want to go to against Jake Urban. We had started down this path before we kicked off the show, Matt. Who is your top stack?
I think the Dodgers are the top stack today. They're expensive. They're not really that expensive for who they are. So I think the Dodgers are the top stack. Walker Buehler is not someone I'm obviously afraid of at all, and it's the Dodgers and Fenway. So I think they're the top overall stack. I think there are a lot of good stacks. There is no Dodgers and Coors type stack today. I still think Buehler is a respectable arm. I mean, he's not what he used to be. And then you've obviously got Baltimore and Minnesota teams that are in good spots. There's no overly amazing stack, but there's a bunch of good to great stacks, and I don't think there's a lot that separates them.
All right, so hitting the high notes on the Dodgers here, they're going against old friend Walker Buehler. Buehler, of course, had a nice production in the playoffs for the Dodgers last year, but his last 16 or so starts that season in the regular season for the Dodgers, and what he has done thus far for Boston, not great. 116 the third innings, a 5.6 ERA, a 5.6 FIP, 4.9 xERA. He has allowed a point or almost a 200, so a 199 ISO against both handedness of hitters combined in this stretch. He is just looking right for the attack here. Ohtani, of course, is my favorite. Did Andy Pages make the lineup? He did. He's batting fifth. He has some serious numbers there against lefties. So against righties. So I'm interested in him. As you dial in on the specific Dodgers, who do you want to hit there?
I think it's definitely a spot where you can stack all of them. Certainly the guys you want most are up top: Ohtani, Freeman, Hernandez, Pages, Mookie Betts, sure. It's the top, but again, they're going to be popular, so it's certainly a team I don't mind going to the bottom of, although you're taking a big projection hit to go to the bottom.
Yeah, the one I like the best is Tommy Edman at the bottom. So
so another team I like a lot here, just because we're talking about our favorite stacks, is Texas. Bryce Elder I've picked on all year. Sometimes it's burned me. He had that amazing start in San Francisco. A lot of times it's been good for me. And Texas's lineup is really starting to lengthen. They got Jock Peterson back. He's hitting fifth, which means that you've got Langford and Carter 6-7, Josh Young 8. I like Texas, the entire lineup, a lot. And I don't think they're going to be owned really at all.
Interesting. So roof's going to be closed there. Typically, if it's over 85 degrees, they close the roof just out of standard protocol. So that does make it a more of a pitching friendly environment there. I wasn't thinking about Texas here. So now I'm going to have to think about them for just a minute here, Matt. Let me see what we've got. So Bryce Elder is just plain old bad. I was not aware of the Jock Peterson coming back. That $2,000 Jock Peterson, is that going to get you your two top pitchers?
I mean, in one of my lineups, yeah, for sure. I'm not loading him in, but he certainly helps in a Texas stack.
Yes, batting fifth there. His batting average.
The top of the lineup is cheaper than the bottom of the lineup, which is weird. Outside of Seager, the bottom of the lineup's more expensive.
That is kind of interesting. There, right? With Langford and Carter. I mean, I know that Josh Smith has been in and out of the lineup a little bit there, and at the bottom of the order. I wonder if that drove his number down a little bit. But yeah, that is interesting.
I mean, it just makes me think guys like Langford and Carter aren't going to be owned like at all.
No, I think that is definitely a good identification there. All right, let's get back over here to the top, the old top stacks. What's your take on Baltimore against Gomber?
I like Baltimore. I think they're going to be overowned. Like, they were really popular last night, and I think you're going to see something similar. They're affordable. Tyler O'Neill will probably be the highest owned hitter on the slate, like him and Ohtani. Westberg leading off. Loriant, I mean, they're a really good stack today. If you're not playing them, I think it's because of ownership.
All right. Minnesota. So Minnesota definitely look to the lefties going against Jake Irving. Irving has slid back to expectations. This is about what was expected when he came up through the minors. He had a good first year and a half, almost 2 seasons there, taking the ball every day. I've mentioned that's kind of his superpower. But his last 5 starts, he's gone 25 innings, allowed 24 runs, 6 homers, even worse, 15 walks in those 25 innings, 7.2 ERA, 6.7 FIP, 16.4 strikeout rate, percent strikeout rate. That's, well below what was his 20.3% rate last year. Dreadful advanced metrics, 7.4 swinging strikeout rate, 12.5 barrel rate. His barrel rate is 5% higher than his swinging strike rate. It's the lefties you want to focus on here. But I'm working in my Yahoo lineup here. I'm going with Minnesota and with a 3-man Dodgers stack is where I've landed. So those are the 2 teams I like there. Anything you want to add to the Minnesota love?
No, I like Minnesota. I prefer the lefties against Irvin. He stinks also. A lot of these guys that I've picked on a bunch this year, Irvin, Elder, I can get on board with a bunch of stacks today. There's a lot of good spots.
All right, let's continue moving along. Nothing exciting there in chat. How you feeling about the Cubbies against Sean Burke, the rookie?
Yeah, he stinks. The Cubs are really good. They're really expensive. So kind of the same problem we see with the Cubs. It's twofold. They're uber expensive, and all the guys you want are outfielders. So do I like the Cubs? Yeah. Am I going to be able to prioritize stacking them? Probably not.
All right. Well, you mentioned a lot of outfielders. That's going to be the same story with Boston. You get Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, Masataka Yoshida, Weiler Abreu, 4 left-handed outfield-only players. But they're going against Dustin May. Dustin May's strikeouts have been all over the place since he has returned to action. Poor guy just always seems to be injured here. So I think going with the Boston lefties is a pretty key situation. Let me see here. Duran potentially on the trade block here, not because they don't like him in Boston, but because he probably will give them the best return, alleviate some of that crowd now that everybody's healthy there with all their left-handed outfielders, and maybe get some help at a different position where they could use it. So I was surprised when I first saw his name in the trade. Rumors, some of the articles I was reading this morning, but I guess it makes sense. He's going to be 29, or he is 29 here. 2 triples and a double last night. Pretty solid here. Attacking Dustin May feels like a pretty good, a feel good story here. Plus, we didn't even mention Bregman, Rafala, etc. What is it about the Bo Sox that is redeeming?
They look good here. Dustin May is another one of these. I mean, he fits into the Jake Irvin, Bryce Elder mold. Mm-hmm. I think he's a little bit better than those guys, but not significantly. And yeah, I mean, the Boston looks good here. They're not my favorite stack because I like some other ones a little bit more, but I wouldn't fault anyone for having them as their favorite stack at all. As I said earlier, I don't think there's one offense today that's overwhelmingly amazing. There's just 10 to 15 that are really, really good.
All right. I see someone saying a bullpen game for the White Sox. I think that might be the case here. They're running out of arms at this point. Stephen Lee Woods, very, very long time viewer of our show here, does point out that Durant is under control for three more years. Yeah, he's got on a great contract. But if they're trying to, I was looking at the wild card standings, and Boston right now has the last spot. Mariners and Yankees are about a game ahead of them, and then there are 4 teams within 5 games behind them. So it's kind of a scrum here. It's one of those where, are they going to be sellers? And it's like, no, I think they're going to be selectively buying because unless they go on a 4-game losing streak between now and then, because they are in the thick of things there for the postseason at this moment. CPA Joe K, how are you doing? Certified public accountant, I'm assuming what those little initials stand for. Did you pass the little quiz there, Joe? All right. What else is there? Bullpen game for Minnesota, I believe. You've got dreadful Jack Flaherty, not in great form. You've got Shane Baz, hit or miss. He's had some rough environments to be starting in here. He is in Great American Ballpark today, but otherwise pitching in Steinbrenner Field, which is kind of a homer happy haven. What are you thinking about some of these deeper options that are still part of that long flat tail of our top stacks options?
So yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of stacks we haven't even named that look great. That would be, or look really good. That would be the top stack on a lot of slates. Tampa Bay against Brady Singer. Problem with Tampa is they got 3 first base only guys in their lineup. That stinks, but whatever. Washington against Travis Adams. Yes, please. Specifically Wood, Abrams. Like, yeah, I'm in on those guys. Atlanta against Jack Leiter. I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of take your pick. Like, another one I like a lot that I think is going to be really low owned and I think is not getting enough projection love is Colorado. Sagano stinks, and I'm not afraid of the Orioles bullpen, especially if Colorado gets up. And I think they're going to be really low owned and they're affordable. You can get expensive pitching with them. I like the Rockies here. A rare time I like them away from Coors. Baltimore has stunk all year, and Sagano is not good. So I'm in on some Rockies today.
I'm just looking here to see what the hell. Oh, the back of that lineup is it's a little putrid. That's a 3-up, 3-down spot with Young Gil, Fernandez, Austin Nola, and Orlando RC. Orlando, I only catch the baseball. I do not hit the baseball RC.
I like 1 through 6.
Okay. So you're going to throw Fernandez in there. What did he do? Did he get?
He's got power.
Oh, he was a rookie. He is a rookie. Okay, that's why my numbers are a little off. Yeah, Moniak looks good. Tovar Beck. I'm comfortable with those guys. Sad for my dynasty team that now has Ryan McMahon with the Yankees, but batting deeper in the order and away from Coors. All righty. What other stacks there do you want to unveil for the crowd? Is Cleveland an option for you against Noah Cameron?
Yeah, I don't think they're a bad play. I don't love their lineup today, but it's obviously good hitting weather, good ballpark for overall offensive production, if not for home runs. So yeah, can get on board with Cleveland, can get on board with San Diego against McGreevy. Bad blood in this series. So
yeah, what was the dust up about? I was out to dinner with family, so I didn't see it, but I saw that, or I caught the highlight that they did it for a second game in a row.
Yeah, I don't know, but Machado and John Jay were going at it, and those two are long, I don't know, supposed friends, so I don't know what happened.
Frenemies, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, they grew up together, so I guess now something has happened in their relationship, I think. So I don't know what.
Usually a girl, man.
I don't think so. Machado's married to.
No.
I don't think this was a girl type situation, but you never know. We're not going to speak on that though.
Allegedly.
Yeah, fair. Both the Cardinals and Padres here, I think, have upside here. We saw St. Louis play really well for offense a couple days ago. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw the same thing today.
All right, that brings us to Houston. It's more about going against JT again than it is Houston against righties. But any comments on Houston?
Tough for Houston. I was just thinking about Houston this morning, man. Like they are, I can't believe how well they've played. I know they haven't played well this series, but considering what they've lost. So not only did they lose Bregman and Tucker, but they've played a while. Not only Jerry Pena, not only Matt Paredes, but Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah, and Jake Myers too. He is capable reserve.
Alvarez, but yeah, Jake Myers too. Honestly, good call.
Yep. All right, Matt maybe having some technical difficulties there. He's got some weather in the area. I see that chat. Thank you for giving me the heads up that it looks like the Yankees are in a delay here. Let me confirm that real quick. So it looks like there should not be much of an issue after about an hour or so. So I'd be totally comfortable. Again, with all the games today, anything that starts in a delay is not going to be an issue because everything still has plenty of windows before, if there even is evening precipitation. So I would not worry about that. Same thing with LA and Boston as well. Wouldn't worry about it. They're going to make sure they get the games in and not impact the pitchers if there are good pitchers going. Sorry, no good pitchers going in Boston today. All righty. How is the weather where you are?
It's good. I didn't know that I was having some problems because it seems fine for me now. But yeah, we're back. The weather has been a little bit shoddy, rain on and off, and then it gets really hot. So yeah.
All righty. Yes, the Walker Buehler revenge game, the Mookie Betts remember me game, all sorts of back and forths on today's action. Let me get over to our fun here. Let's take a peek at. What did I click on there? I want to remind you guys that you guys can get free sims. Yes, free sims. I'm going to put this link. Nightbot's been dropping it in there into the chat. But if you sign up, clicking this button here next to any of these operators, plus recently added Wanna Parlay, that is a pick'em site up to 100% deposit match there for $200 or $250 deposit. That is a pretty sweet deal, especially since I know most of you are not signed up there. And then we get you 30 days of the single sport sims package of your choosing. Look at these little steps up here. All you got to do is click on the button, sign up using our offer, deposit, place your first bet. Once that has settled, or your pick'em card, whatever it may be, take screenshots of that, add that to your welcome email, and send that to sport@stokastic.com and tell us which sports league you would like to have the sims for. We can almost reach out and touch the NFL season. You can save it for NFL. You could use it for the next month on the MLB, but that is a pretty sweet deal there, especially if you have not yet signed up for Wanna Parlay. All right, Matt. Now we're down in the deep dregs here. Anything else that we have not covered?
I don't think so. As far as like stacks go, yeah. I mean, there are other good stacks. Cincinnati. I don't think Kansas City's a bad stack. If you want to get real weird, like Philly against Rodon, like they're a lot. So this is a good talking point, I guess. Philly is a lot higher than most teams you would see facing Rodon. They're also a lot lower than Philly normally is. So it's kind of that balance. Like I don't love them here. I'm not playing enough lineups to play them, and I'm playing Rodon. But if I wasn't, I would play some Philly because their upside is always sky high. Like when they get there, they hit home runs, and they run also.
Yeah, and you get the little leverage boost there by going against a popular Rodon, which today even as sort of what Matt is alluding to, because there are so many, or said a different way, because there are so many teams on the slate, you don't have to do that much to be above the field on quite a few teams here. Now, baseball is chaos. We embrace that variance here. We recommend building out 20, 50, 100 lineups, etc. But these principles still hold true if you're just building a handful of lineups. But you can make some stands today that aren't normally available here. And you get a team like, as he's saying, the Phillies, all it takes is a meltdown by Rodon. You've got the Phillies, nobody, the other pitchers that we all flashed warning signs on, give a whole lot of that day, and you're, they're okay, but not great, not must-haves. And all of a sudden, your Phillies have propelled you up the leaderboard because they are getting those event-based fantasy points, the home runs, stolen bases, etc.
Right, exactly.
All righty, let's see. I got my old Yahoo lineups up here. Let me get back over to chat, see what they are embracing or angry about. Say it with all caps, sir. No Buxton today for the Twins. What? Oh, there's a request for tiers. Okay, give me a sec here. Sorry, I was looking at the incorrect chat here on StreamYard, but that doesn't flash up the super chats. I should have opened that there. Let's get a quick look here. Fan funding. Dun, dun, dun. Amy says, hey, can you guys please give your tiers picks? All right, well, let me call this up. This is DraftKings tiers. So when you're playing DraftKings tiers, they tweak things a little bit this year. Occasionally they're adding pitchers into the 6th tier. That's something they have not done with any regularity. Every once in a while, they would do they had for the last 2 years, but they would do a whole pick'ems just built around pitching. So that was kind of fun. But turns out that you need a perfect slate like today would have been, where all the games are kind of going off together, and you get a bunch of kind of middling options that you can farm out into tiers. All right, let me get over there. Okay, so I will go through this quickly, Matt. Tier 1, we have Ohtani, Ramirez. Those are going to be your top 2. Kyle Tucker would probably be your 3rd. I, of course, would lean towards Ohtani, so would everybody else, but let's look in the other tiers and see if we have any additional Cleveland or Chicago hitters, because then we can start building out the synergy. If we go over here to tier 2, we've got Pete Crow Armstrong. So all of a sudden, I'm feeling like I like Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong. That's going to give us a little bit of a discount from the rest of the field going to Shohei Ohtani, who is going to be everybody's favorite click. If we go into tier 3, hey, look, another Cub. It is Michael Busch down there towards the bottom, which could scare a few people away from him. I think he is your number. We'll give him the number 1 choice. Number 2 is going to be Schwarber. He has the best. I was listening to the broadcast the other day. He has the best lefty on lefty metrics this season of any hitter. So tough one against Rodon, but he is one of the best hitters in lefty-lefty matchups. But we can go with that 3-man Cubs stack. We get to tier 4. Oh my God, there's Seiya Suzuki. We got 4 Cubs working here. I like that. If you don't want to go that route, go with James Wood. I think he got hit in the hand by a pitcher. He got hit somehow. He got roughed up a little bit, but he's batting 2nd today against that weaker Minnesota bullpen. Let's see, tier 5. I think it's got to be O'Neal Cruz against Zach Allen. Would you go with Cruz or Manny Machado?
I like Machado with that bad blood, so give me Machado.
Okay, that's why I had to call that one out. It's a coin flip, but I'd be comfortable with that. And then tier 6 today is hitters. Let's see, what do we got? Riley Green against Scherzer, I think, is a nice call out. He is batting cleanup. Scherzer no longer Mad Max Scherzer. Well, he's still mad, but he's no longer apex predator Mad Max Scherzer. So I would go with Green. So tiers 1 through 4 hit those Cubs. And then go with Machado and Green. There we go. Question. Singleton, Mayo, or Fry for a cheap first base option if you had to choose? I would take Fry in this one. Would be number 1. Mayo would be 2. Singleton has, John Singleton makes good movies, but he's not that great of a baseball player. I mean, he's one of the best in the world, but not compared to the rest of the major league. Wasn't he like out of the league or in playing internationally or something for a few years? And then he popped up maybe 2 seasons ago with like a 2 home run game or something out of nowhere. That's my last vague memories of John Singleton. It takes a lot of people to get hurt there before he ends up in lineups these days. Who do you like in that mix? Singleton, where'd it go? Fry or Mayo?
Probably Fry, but none of them really. So Fry.
It's sort of the discount dandy there on that one. All right, what else we got? Emacs secretly stacking Cubs. Well, shoot, that jumped out. Hopefully other people don't notice that quite as much. Why isn't the weather report loading for Stokastic? I'm not sure which link that is, but it could be, perhaps it's down. If you want to tweet at me or even just put it in the chat here, I'll look back after the show and see if there was something wrong with the feed. What else do we have here? Okay, doesn't seem to be too. Don't you have to be good to have revenge? Well, see, that's why I like to call it the Remember Me game. It's a little more fun than revenge. But I was listening to one of the broadcasts Friday night. Now I can't remember which game, but they were talking about somebody hit a home run. They're like, "Oh, it's a revenge home run for so and so." Always fun. Always fun. 17 minutes to go. Boy, that's an eternity here, Matt. How are your lineups coming together? Oh, all right. Well, it may just be me again here. So in the interest of that, I'm going to go to the Sims here. I'm going to build out my FanDuel lineups here. So make sure I'm sharing that on the screen. So flipping this over to FanDuel, 5,000 person entries. This is the default setting. This mirrors what typically happens for stacks. I'm now changing this because I want a slightly different mix here. I'm okay with that because I'm not touching anything else. So that means I'm not putting my thumb on the scale for the players, the projections, the ROI, the probability of success, all that stuff here. It's just changing the lineup mix a little bit. The best way to describe that is if we build a bunch of crappy lineups, they're going to have good ROI against other crappy lineups, but you release those into the wild against good lineups, they're not going to stand a chance. So you don't want to influence things too much at that particular juncture when you can tweak the variables. But once this builds itself out, when we rank the lineups, that's where we will be looking to make a few adjustments here and there. I'm curious to see what I'm envisioning, maybe putting a bunch of pitchers in there at about 15%, because I'm curious to see what the Sims are going to do when they give me the dispersals. And then I don't want to have too many Orioles. Those were kind of the two tenets I wanted to play out today. So we'll see how that works on that. And again, for me, the Orioles, I don't like them as much against lefties. They've got some fine hitters against lefties. They're just kind of spread out a little bit in the lineup in what is a disappointing season for the batters of Birdland. Conspiracy. I know. So, Tech, somebody doesn't want us hearing Matt's analysis.
I'm here.
Okay. Analyze away, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Obviously on me. It's an awful feeling, but yeah. So, was there a question or?
No, they're worried about you. Wow,
so worried about.
Boy, he wants me to play Wheeler. 60%.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about. You know what? I'm going to accept that. I'm going to go 60% there. I'm changing my on the fly here. I'm going to take double the field of Rodon. I'll match the field on Woodruff, just like you said, in case he gets, a little pitch count extension. Same thing with Skeens, Scherzer, 5%, whatever. Ben Brown, I'm okay with him being a wild card. We'll cap him at 10, see what happens once I start pushing down. This feels like I'm missing somebody. Missing somebody important. Yuri Perez. Well, I've already got Perez on Yahoo. and Cantillo. I got Cantillo on my main lineup on Yahoo, so I'm not worried about that. So let's see what happens here. How many lineups you got going for yourself on DraftKings, sir?
3.
How many have Wheeler?
Probably 3.
Okay. Oh, look, nice little spread there, 25%, no more than 25% of my hitters. I'm okay with that. Here, let's look at stack exposure. Remember, I didn't want a lot of Baltimore. 16%, that's not a lot of Baltimore. I'm okay with that. A little bit of love there for Colorado. Remember, Matt called out the Colorado side. That's a little kind of fun there. Not many Dodgers. I've said I like the Dodgers, but I've got them on Yahoo. And then who is my other team? Boston, 9%. Okay, so we're going to tweak this just a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is go into the ROI boost. I'm just going to boost stacks. And you could go in and boost individual players, or you can boost the stack as a whole. You understand you're double counting it, but if you go in and put 5% on 4 people on a stack, that's like boosting the stack 20%. Okay, so play around with this a little bit. Don't go too crazy. I'm going to go 1 tick down on Baltimore. I'm going to go 1 tick up on Colorado because I like Matt's call out there. I like Boston, so I'm giving them 2. And I think, I didn't get much LAD. Let's give them 2. See what happens. And I'm not going to massage it much more than this because, again, I made more of my stands on Yahoo. So I'm okay with having influenced things just enough over there. Okay, this looks pretty decent here. Got Boston up. That's fine. Minnesota's where I want them. I said I really like them. I'm good with that. So let me download this, and then I will upload that. And then we got 10 more minutes here to break things down. What has surprised you as we have walked through the slates and you are shaping up your last few lineups here, clicking in those last batters?
Nothing. I mean, nothing has surprised me. Just a lot of good plays on this slate. It's definitely one where, I mean, there's just a ton of good plays. That's all I can really say about it. What about you?
That it pushed that much Wheeler on me.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising, but I mean, again, he does look really, really good here. So
yeah, that's to say it a different way. I would expect that percentage on a 7-game slate, an 8-game slate, not a 13-game slate. So it's really, I'm really taking a stand, or the Sims are having me really take a stand there. So I find that part of it interesting. What did I not download my lineups? Dun. Let's download those. Okay, there we go. Let me copy these in. I got a lot of Bobby Witt. You know, he's a pretty good player. He'll survive. What did you think about Nick Kurtz?
Man, I mean, freaking amazing. Like, that was one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was definitely something else on that. For those who don't know, he became the 20th player ever to hit 4 home runs in a game. He almost had 5. He came closer to getting 5, and I forget if it was Mark Whitten or it was Mike Cameron, maybe. One of those guys also came really close to getting 5 home runs. But yeah, he had 6 total hits. I think he had like 4 or 5. 5 or 6.
8 RBI.
Yeah, 8 RBI, 5 or 6 runs scored. He obviously got 4 on the home run. But yeah, first rookie to do it. That was just absolutely just nuts. Just nuts. All right, going back over here, seeing what we have in chat. Guys, feel free to add in any of your questions. Taste the Skittles. No relation to Red Skittles, I'm assuming. Perhaps long-lost relatives. Boston and New York weather, don't worry about it. It's going to be a delay, but there is plenty of day to finish those games without any additional issues. So no need to worry about that. Oh, Stephen Leibowitz brings up the dong of the day. How can I forget that? Because, you know, I'd like to forget that. Matt would like to forget that. My wife is not here. She is out with the dog. So, you know, perhaps I will sing for some people here. Maybe. Do you have your home run of the day, Matt?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to go with a guy we mentioned a little bit earlier hasn't been seeing the ball well lately, but I think this is a perfect matchup for him. Yanquiel Fernandez hitting his first bomb.
Look at you. Look at you. I am going to go with, in honor of Eric Lindquist, my dong of the day. Dong of the day. It's the dong of the day. Mickey Moniak. Do you know why, Mickey Moniak? Because after he hits one, I'm going to say, I'm a Moniak on the floor. Oh, my fellow olds will get that. Because I'm dancing like I've never danced before. Matt just understood the word cringeworthy. Cringeworthy.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Let's see what chat has to say there. Wow, LFG, LMAO, LOL, EMAC is too much. So, too much is never enough. Too much is never enough. Mookie Betts Revenge Vaughn. Yeah, you guys. Oh, Cody Clemens. That's a good one to call out, Doug Dubs. I just don't have a good dance for Cody Clemens. So, let's see. All right, let's read off some home runs here. Doug Dubs says he has 100% Wheeler. Is that 1 or 2 lineups? Aha, gotcha. It's 2 because it's Doug Dubs. He plays 2 lineups. It's all part of the shtick. Tucker with the double long today for G Joyner. Okay, tough one. Yeah, Anthony says he missed that 5 home runs by inches. Yeah, it was super, super close. Steve Leibowitz says a Royce Lewis home run. Chris Albers says, give me some Bush, baby. I wonder if he's referring to the beer. Oh, no, Michael Bush, the home run. Matt Wallner, solid play there. Yeah, at least the dog isn't begging to go outside. The dog is with the wife. She's driving her insane, I'm sure. We are taking a long plane ride on Tuesday. So we have been trying to get her out in the car more because she's going to have to sit under an airplane seat for a few hours. Tucker with the double on there. We mentioned that. Yabo Goodgreens says Teoscar Hernandez. Mike Campbell going with Schwarber. What else do we have here? The nuke of the night. Sotex, Pete Crow, Armstrong, Pierre Emacs version of Weird Al Yankovic. Talented fellow. He was
I
funny.
love that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. My brother and I, we used to have the cassette tapes for Weird Al.
Yeah, my sister did. I remember that. She was older than me, and yeah, she did too. I remember that.
Yeah, those were good times. CPA Joe K says, Freeman, yeah, you took 4 quizzes. I took 1 big, long 2.5-day test with paper, Scantron, and then we had to write out our essays, and then we had to pass 3 of the 4 parts, or you didn't get to count any of them. That was way, way, way back in the day for the old CPA exam there. What else? That's going to do it. Royce Lewis there for Orlando Hewitt. Fistchillapoop. That is an affliction I don't want to put on anybody. Sir Charles Moran says Jock Peterson. All right. I think we're doing good. We're going to wrap this up, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you dealing with our little technical difficulties. It's always good. We try our best on Sundays. Hit the like button on the way out, and you guys can follow Matt on Twitter or X at Fantasy Tips Matt. You guys can find me at EMAC DFS. I appreciate all you guys that are liking and retweeting my free articles. That does not go unnoticed by the boss people here, and that will help keep those free as well. You can find me at EMAC DFS, and of course, it is Stokastic _COM. With that, gamers, good luck.